before we do any story stuff, we're going to activate the Absent Silhouette and face Squisgar from Deathclock. Hey cool people, I'm Nick, I'm a he, him. Let's normalize pronouns and be sure to respect trans people. Feel free to check the description for trans-based charities and consider donating if you're able. So, today we're playing Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix and collecting everything in Agrabah, including items, puzzle pieces, rewards, aka the get bonus, chests, and maps. Comment below any videos you'd like me to make, just like these wonderful people did. I will do your suggestions, I promise. And remember to wait until the end of the video for the best strategy to speed level Valor form. Without further ado, let's hop in our gummy ships and blast off! The minute we land in Agrabah, load your Glock, because it's time for a Heartless fight.
Shut up, clock in, and load up.
I like to use Wisdom form during this to help level it up a little bit, but eventually the fight will just abruptly end, and when it does, we're rewarded with the Agrabah map as a little treat. We'll then spawn in this dilapidated room.
Let's leave.
Out in Agrabah, it's giving New York, but sure. Out in Agrabah, we can run up these stairs and get this high potion chest. Then south of that, we can snatch up a mithril shard. Then we'll drop down here and attack this merchant stall, revealing a frontier puzzle piece. I'm sure that's not their livelihood or anything. Then we'll leap up to this area and take these thin bridges northward, where we'll discover a chest housing a dark shard. Then we can head left, leap up to the elevated bit, and in the building's corner we can scrape up a mithril stone. We'll then turn northward where there's another chest along this wall containing a mithril shard. West of that is another chest in a little crevice alcovey lower area that's home to an AP boost. Let's move east. East? I thought you said west. Drop down to this area and leap onto this big rock block, say that 5 times fast, and run along this thin strip of bricks to collect the Serenity Shard chest. We can then scurry over to the northmost area, near the entrance to the palace where Yago is, and above the left stall we can scoop up a duality puzzle piece. Now, we'll proceed into the palace and Aladdin will join our party. Then, we'll return to the peddler's shop, which is that dilapidated room we spawned in before, and after they say some words, we'll go into the bazaar. After a little bit of fighting, we'll jump onto this elevated platform and turn. Then we can see a chest up on this block holding a mithril gem. Turn back around from there and go towards the north exit. Except, instead of going through the exit, we're going to break this stall on our right to grab a frontier puzzle piece that's under it. Then we can scamper down the stairs and we'll find this little power shard chest sitting between some stalls on the right. And now, it's time for
Destruction of public property.
After that, if we face the big exit door, you'll see a puzzle piece above it. And, shoot. Come on. Wait, I can, seriously. There's a mithril chest on the southeast wall. With the enemies defeated, we can now grab this high potion chest in the southwest corner by the big exit door. Then under this specific off-white roof stall is an AP boost chest. Real quick, we can change into Valor form to reach this puzzle piece hovering above the door. And we can, one more try. And, no, wait, I can do it, Donald, move. Come here, you stupid duck. Alright, there we go. And, got it. Reminder, my Valor form is at level 3, which gives me high jump level 2, which you'll need to be able to reach the previous puzzle piece. Once we're out at the palace walls, there's a mithril stone on the east corner, and then a big chest with a skill ring near the southeast exit. Let's travel to the Cave of Wonders entrance, and oh hey, there's Pete! I'm sure that won't be a problem for us later. In the entrance, there's 2 chests and a puzzle piece behind the cave's head. The chest on our left has a power stone. Then, as we bolt to the right chest, we can spring up and retrieve the daylight puzzle piece. Then, collect the mithril shard that's housed in the other chest. Okay, hop in its mouth, and we'll enter the Valley of Stone. We can see a chest on a small purple platform on our forward right that contains a high potion. Then, forward left is another purple platform, where we find a mithril shard chest. Then, if we head rightwards, we can find yet another, you guessed it, purple platform that we can hop onto to fetch a mithril stone. Then, we'll advance left from there where, oh my god, can you believe it? It's another purple platform? Well, don't, because it's blue. And there's an AP boost chest on top of it. Now, while facing that AP boost chest, if we turn right, we'll see a weird double blue box platform that we can hop onto. Then we'll bound up to the frontier puzzle piece floating just beyond it. Then some fat bandits will spawn, but I don't care. Bye! So the next room is the Stone Guardian room, where a little minigame will commence after we examine the floating jewel and examine the stone statue at the far end of the room. So this minigame is actually pretty easy, and all we gotta do is help a boo return the statue's vape pen, which we can do if we just keep pace with the boo, while pressing triangle and circle at the same time to vault over the tiny waves. When we complete it, Sora will gain the Summon Boost ability, Donald gets Donald Blizzard ability, while Goofy and Aladdin gather an HP boost. And after the minigame, we'll move on to the Chasm of Challenges. Quick thing, I always do this challenge twice because, for one, we'll have to repeat it for the journal, and for two, since I used Wisdom Form on its first time, the second round helps me get my drive gauge back to max, and gives me another chance to grab any puzzle pieces I might have missed. Plus, I just like spinning while falling. So y'all know, I'll only be explaining how to beat the challenge once, and like I said, I use Wisdom Form for it. And to prevent Sora from changing into Anti-Form, I changed just before accepting the challenge. We can beat this any way we'd like. Reflect is pretty useful, but also Fire on Ice enemies and Blizzard on Fire enemies is a big brain move, which my very intelligent brain just didn't do. Like, why the fuck am I using Thunder? Stupid! The first two floors are basic, Tiny Ice and Tire Fire. The first two floors are basic, Tiny Ice and Tire Fire enemies that can be. The first two floors are basic, Tiny Ice and Tiny Fire enemies that can be easily dispatched. And on the second floor, there's a daylight puzzle piece that we'll grab before defeating the enemies. Then we'll fall to a floor where a fat bandit spawns, and Aladdin is very good for this fight, but so is Reflect. And then the third floor will disappear, and we'll need to keep our eyes peeled for the daylight puzzle piece floating in the corner below. We can fall on that puzzle piece if we position ourselves like so. Oh look, I finally figured out how Blizzard works. Hooray! Then after that floor dissipates, we'll have a big drop where we'll want to stay in the center as the last daylight puzzle piece in the challenge floats just above the final floor, in its center of course, and it's best to collect it now because it's impossible to reach by other means during this visit. If you happen to miss any of those puzzle pieces, feel free to repeat the challenge, which I'll show you how to do in just a second. When the challenge ends, let's grab the big chest on the left side of the tall door, containing a Cave of Wonders map, even though we just finished it. Thanks. Then we'll collect the chest on the right, which is an AP boost. Assuming you want to replay the challenge or missed any puzzle pieces, we can examine the warp pad in front of the now open big chest, which will teleport us back up to the top of the challenge. So, when we're back at the balcony below the challenge, we can examine the yellow sign, but I'm going to change into Wisdom Form to level it up in the next section. Then we'll head into the newly opened door and, uh-oh, Pete has summoned a horde of Heartless in the treasure room. Who could have seen that coming? We have to kill 50 Heartless, which isn't too hard initially, but if you happen to be on Proud or Critical mode, then you're going to want to be sure you have all your magic before defeating the fourth to last Heartless, because the final three are fat bandits that all spawn at once. Now I messed up hoping I could defeat them with Wisdom Form. I couldn't. So if you wait to get your magic back, you can stand in the center and cast Reflect to do big damage to them. Clip not found because I'm a fool. For winning the 50 Heartless fight, Sora, Donald, and Aladdin accumulate an HP boost, and Goofy acquires the Auto Healing ability. We're not quite done yet. There's still a boss battle we gotta do to finish out Agrabah's first visit. We'll spawn back in New York, and then we can make our way to the palace, where we'll encounter Hans and Franz.
Hello, let us begin by introducing ourselves. I'm Hans.
And I'm Franz.
And we want to pump you up.
So both of these bosses are really easy if we use the reaction commands to wallop them. But also, we can stand next to an AoE Molten Circle or Glacier and cast Reflect to do extra damage to the bosses when they're nearby. And Aladdin's limit is pretty good for damage as well. Upon our victory, we receive Finishing Leap ability for Sora, retrieve an HP boost for Donald and Aladdin, and relinquish an armor slot for Goofy. I don't think I used that word right. Anyway, be sure to re-land in the world real fast, specifically at the Chasm of Challenges, because Pete stopped us from collecting the items in the treasure room. So let's grab those real fast. We'll also discover Mushroom 5 here, and we'll worry about it later. Right now, we're going to run clockwise around the room, first to the Daylight Puzzle piece, then we'll acquire the AP boost in the chest. Next, by this gold pile and elevated Guardian statue, is a Serenity Gem chest. And lastly, the reason to be in Valor form, we can shoot up to the Sunset Puzzle piece, hovering above this mound of gold. And as we can see in the journal, this is all the puzzle pieces and chests we can get on this visit. Woo! Okay, next up is... Initially on our second visit, we're... Oh. Wow. Was Manzan go flip yourself? Anyhow, before we do any story stuff, we're going to activate the Absent Silhouette and face Squisgar from Death Clock. Setup-wise, we'll put Fire on our shortcut menu and turn on Fire Boost ability for Sora. As for Donald, we'll make it so he only has the Fire and Cure spells on. And weapon-wise, we'll use our highest strength Keyblade, which for me is Guardian Soul. Now, just before we start, bear in mind, it's okay to come back and challenge Vexen later, as eventually we'll just be too strong for him. I'm level 36 for this, which I would argue is underleveled, especially for higher difficulties. For the fight itself, try not to stand in the circle on the floor, because once one of Vexen's data bars is complete, a hostile anti-form Sora will appear and attack us. In fairness, it's inevitable, and we'll need to have a Reflect ready for it. Reflect will demolish the data anti-form's health, as well as do decent damage to Vexen, or his shield if he has it up. Additionally, I don't tend to change forms during this fight because, well, as of now I've completely lost count on my anti-form counter, and the organization boss battles multiply your percentage chance by 5. I don't know if that makes any sense. Jiminy, could you explain it? Thanks, Jiminy. So instead, I'm relying pretty exclusively on reflecting combos, and although I don't do this next thing because my brain was off, hitting Vexen with Fire will do 50% extra damage to him. But yeah, once we've beaten Vexen, Sora will collect an armor slot, while Donald and Goofy come by an HP boost. Also, Vexen will concede a Road to Discovery and a Lost Illusion. Next, we'll actually do the story and go from the Peddler's Shop to Agrabah to the Bazaar, then my first on-screen encounter with the prize capsule Heartless. If you haven't encountered them yet, they show up in key locations in different worlds, similar to the White Mushrooms of Kingdom Hearts 1. Except these Fuddruckers will try to avoid you. They have 4 different speeds and 4 different reaction commands to activate based on their health, which will constantly deteriorate. So, the lower their health, the faster they are, but the better our reward if we catch them. Time to get my prize caps. No! Oh, no! Oh, maybe next time. This time, we'll turn to the right exit, which will bring us to the Sand-Swept Ruins, where we have to chase down a wet and wild Jafar, who just returned from Isle Delfino. When we reach Jafar, we do a quick Heartless Brawl, which is pretty easy, but no reward, and then we'll actually chase Jafar. Real quick, collect this sunset puzzle piece while we're here. And as a side note, I don't really have any tips about chasing Jafar. You're welcome to follow along to see where to go, otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. I do collect 2 more puzzle pieces along the way. Once we're at the top of the red tower, we do another Heartless Brawl with no reward, Stellar. And then we have to find 3 sets of 6 eggs that we have to cast a certain magic on based on their formation. The first egg set I go to is... the Blizzard Cluster. Wait until it lines up and turns blue, and then skadoosh. Next is the... Thunder Cluster. Again, wait until it lines up and then skirt the eggs. And the last set of eggs is here, below the broken bridge on the red tower, where we'll find the Fire Cluster. Float in the middle of it and the eggs. Voila! Now we have a ridiculously long timer and only have to move upwards 5 whole feet. That's 1.5 meters for the non-staters in the crowd. Once in the ruined chamber, we can grab 2 big chests by the save point. One holds a ruined map, and the other torn pages for 100 Acre Wood. If we follow the curve, we'll trigger the cutscene and then begin the Escape from the Ruins minigame. My advice here, hit 'em. Revolutionary, I know. The Dancer Heartless, the Fortune Teller, requires a finisher to knock away, while the Bats and the Bees only require a single hit to be defeated. It's also on rails, so I mean, you can handle it. I'm pretty sure. You got this. Plus, I'll talk more about how to do it in the next section. For now, we're going to finish the second visit by going to the palace walls, to the bazaar, to Agrabah, and lastly to the palace in order to kick Genie Jafar's, wispy tail thing. Man skipped leg day so many times they turned into smoke. My strategy here is to wallop him in the abs. You skip an ab day too, Jafar? Then bonk him on the head. I ignore the reaction command until I get a few good combos in, then I roll him up and whack him in the face some more. Repeat until defeated. Also, if you're cast into the Shadow Realm,
looks like you're going to the Shadow Realm, Jimbo.
Fly around at high speed in large circles to avoid the buildings that Jafar throws. Shabu gabba gabba yourself, you Dorito-shaped, Crash Bandicoot-looking, loves to bathe in hot Cheeto dust, Zuko ponytail-having dingus.
Boom. Roasted. Boom. Roasted. Boom. Roasted.
For our victory, Sora obtains the fire element, as well as the wishing lamp keyblade. There's also a trophy, I guess. Moving on. So before we get to the speed leveling for Valor form, let's talk about the missions and minigames that can be completed in Agrabah. The first is a skateboard rave. Whoops, wrong game. We can activate the real skateboard rave by talking to the peddler in his shop. We only need 10 points for it to count in Jiminy's journal. But here's a clip of my best run. Look, I know you can't beat 34 points, so just let me know what your high score was in the comments below. Next, if you didn't do it earlier, we've got to redo the Chasm of Challenges. I explained it before, but you're likely far over leveled by this point, but strategically placed magnets and reflects should make it a cakewalk. While we're here, at the base of the Chasm of Challenges, we can fight Mushroom 5, which we'll need to defeat in under 10 seconds for Jiminy's journal. I highly recommend being level 99 with a max level final form for this, as it's pretty much a non-challenge to do when you're that high of a level. Here's the rewards. The last thing is redoing the Magic Carpet minigame through the Sand-Swept Ruins. We need to get 65 kills, and the easiest way I found to do it is to turn on negative combo ability and equip Fenrir. If you don't have Fenrir, you gotta get it from defeating Sephiroth, and I have a link to that video up in the corner. Just click that later. But with both negative combos on, you'll just do an immediate combo finisher, which knocks all enemies away in one fell swoop. I highly recommend doing it this way. The only downside is we have to make some well-timed hits so we can knock the close-up enemies to the faraway enemies, for instance the fat bandits who hang out on specific rooftops. And once we've beaten that, we can talk about...
We don't talk about Bruno, no.
So this is for any level, as long as we've beaten the first visit of Agrabah, but before the second visit to Hollow Bastion, which locks all the worlds. However, we can continue this strategy once we begin the second visit to Agrabah, so just you only won't be able to do it before Agrabah and when the worlds are locked. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. How it works is, we land in the Chasm of Challenges, go into the treasure room, and pummel the shit out of Mushroom 5 while in Valor form. The reason this strategy works is because Mushroom 5 is considered an enemy, and Valor form gains 1 XP for every hit that we do to an enemy. So you can just slap the crap out of Mushroom 5 until we've reached our current max level of Valor form, which will vary depending on which forms we currently have unlocked. Additionally, be sure to equip the Oathkeeper Keyblade for Form Boost and Starseeker Keyblade for Air Combo Plus. Along with Form Boost abilities and Air Combo Plus abilities, last thing, an epic Fortnite gamer strategy. When we're about to drop down to our final drive gauge bar, run back to the save point and exit the world. When we land again, our drive gauge will be completely full, so we can repeat this strategy ad nauseum. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if this video helped. Goodbye! We'll jump onto this elevated platform. We'll see a weird double blue box. Right now, we're gonna go clock. Except these Fuddruckers will try to avoid you. They have 4 different. Look, I know you can't beat 34 points, so just let me know what your high score was in the comments below. It's so funny to me to like pretend that that's like impressive. Like, who gives a shit? There's no reason for that to be as funny as it is. I'm sorry. Okay, moving on. Last thing, an epic Fortnite gamer strategy. When we're about to drop down to our final drive gauge beige. As I walk through the valley, I will walk through the valley. You can't believe this is a valley? I am walking in a valley. Help, I'm fucking lost. I'm lost in this valley. Where do I go? It's a valley. I'm lost in the valley. Every day I walk and I'm still lost. Help. Help, I'm lost in the valley.